In the dim candlelight of his small Florentine workshop, Galileo Galilei sat alone, surrounded by scattered notes, broken glass lenses, and the faint hum of something greater: curiosity. Outside, church bells echoed through the night, a constant reminder that truth, in his time, was not always welcome. But Galileo was not just looking at the SYK and the stars. He was uncovering secrets the church had sworn did not exist. And some of his most shocking discoveries were never written in any official record. This is the story of Galileo's forbidden experiments, the ones he kept hidden from the eyes of God and man alike. They called him the father of modern science. But in the early 1600s, that title could get a man killed. The Catholic Church controlled knowledge. Every idea, every discovery had to align with Scripture. To question it was heresy. And yet, Galileo questioned everything. He was fascinated by motion, how things fall, move, and spin. But he was obsessed with light. He once wrote in a secret letter, "Light reveals the invisible, and yet it blinds those who are not ready to see." Most historians believe this was about astronomy, but recently discovered fragments suggest something darker. In 1609, Galileo built a telescope unlike any before it. It was so powerful that when he turned it toward the heavens, the world changed. The moon was not smooth and divine as the church taught. It was broken, cratered, imperfect. Jupiter had its own moons, proof that not everything revolved around Earth. But Galileo's curiosity didn't stop there. According to several forbidden manuscripts, found centuries later, marked only with his initials G, Galileo began to turn his telescope toward something else. Not the heavens, but the sun. He spent hours staring at it through smoke glass, sketching what he called black storms crossing its surface. Today, we know them as sunspots, but Galileo described them as living shadows that crawl across the fire of God. The notes were never published. Some claim that he hid them in one of his Bibles. As the years went on, whispers began to spread. Church officials grew uneasy. They said Galileo was performing experiments that challenged divine order. There were even rumors that he used his lenses to focus sunlight onto symbols drawn on parchment, attempting to see the presence of God in the burning light. In one letter, discovered in 1978 in a private Vatican archive, Galileo supposedly wrote, "The light speaks, but not with words. It moves, it breathes, it remembers." The Vatican still refuses to confirm the letter's authenticity. When he finally published dialogue concerning the two chief world systems in 1632, Galileo knew it was a death sentence, but the truth had already burned inside him too long to stop. He was called before the Inquisition, accused of heresy, of claiming that the earth moved around the sun, but what the church never knew is that Galileo had already gone further than that. Unverified documents describe his final experiment, one conducted in total secrecy. He reportedly placed a pendulum beneath a cathedral dome, measuring how its motion changed depending on the moonlight entering through the stained glass. He believed that light itself carried information, that the heavens were not just objects, but a living mechanism. They said he whispered one final phrase to a student before his arrest: "The stars are not above us, they are within us." After his trial, Galileo was forced to recant that he lived under house arrest until his death, but some say he continued his experiments in secret. Neighbors reported strange glows from his windows late at night and faint murmurs, as if he were speaking to someone unseen. When he died, the church confiscated most of his equipment and journals, but several were never found. Even today, fragments of his hidden notes occasionally resurface, always in private collections, never verified that I in one of them. Galileo supposedly wrote, "If light is divine, then to understand it is to understand God himself." Centuries later, science would confirm that light holds the secrets of the universe, from the Big Bang to the atoms in our bodies. And perhaps Galileo knew that long before anyone else. He was a scientist, yes, but also something more. A seeker of truth, wandering through forbidden knowledge, guided only by the flicker of a candle and the light of 1,000 distant suns. Even now, one question remains: what exactly did Galileo see when he turned his telescope to the heavens? And why did he choose to hide some of it forever? Because maybe some truths are not meant to be seen.